What's going on, guys? Keegan here from Punisher's Paintball, and with me I have Doug once again. Today we're doing a video on bigger Christmas items that you can give your paintballer son, paintballer friend, everything like that. So we're going to go over some of those items. I've been told, unlike a previous video, I can't throw stuff at Doug anymore. If we get 200 likes on this video, I will throw a barrel at Doug next time he's in the shop. So, with that being said,
make sure you follow us on YouTube to see that happen. Make sure you comment on this video, tell us you want to see that happen, and we'll catch you after the intro.
Alright guys, so getting right into this video, the first thing that was kind of on the top of my list was lenses. When it comes to paintball, every paintball player can appreciate a new lens and will always be needing or wanting new lenses. And it's not really something that it's like, oh, like I didn't really need that, but thank you. It's more something that it's like, oh, no, awesome.
Yeah.
When I scratch mine,
because I will,
which is inevitable, I'll have a new backup one. The only thing that I'd say about lenses, make sure you know what lens they have. There are a bunch of different lenses, and not all lenses fit in every mask.
That's right.
So, like, for example, you have the Profiler here, and then from the same company, you have the Grills lens, very
different masks, different lenses.
So make sure you know what mask they have, as well as another thing is some players will like a mirrored lens that you can't see their eyes. Some people will like a clear lens. So I kind of try to figure out, like, hey, do you like something that is more see-through, or do you want something that is smoked and good for the sunlight? So that's probably the biggest thing on my list.
What I would suggest with this is, if you really can't make up your mind and if they won't tell you, honestly, this might surprise you, Keegan, go with a clear lens. Somebody will always need it. It's always going to be a rainy, crappy day. You might end up playing indoors. Like, I think most masks, I honestly think most of them don't come with a clear lens. Yeah. So as long as they have the first lens that it came with and they haven't scratched it to hell, they'll always have something that's tinted to kind of keep the sun out of their eyes. But a clear lens just really comes in handy for like a rainy, crappy day. And it's something that, like, I don't have one right now, actually. Yeah. So I could really use one. Mom, please watch this video. But
and clear lens equals ag.
Clear lens is no ag. Vote in the comments. You guys let us know. Which is more ag? Clear lens or smoke and mirror lens? I disagree completely. I think you're crazy. Nobody needs to... Look, if you can't see my eyes, you can't, you can't see what I'm looking at. No, incorrect.
All right, moving on.
We are going to go with pods, packs.
Yeah,
let's talk about it.
And packs, kind of paired together.
Yeah.
Pods, another thing, all paintballers need them.
We lose these a lot.
All the time. Lost, broken, left on the field, stolen. If you didn't know.
You can lose the pod war.
Yes, pod war is a big thing at events. Whoever ends up with the most pods, you win the pod war. People will just go on your side of the field, steal your pods. So it's kind of just something in paintball, and we all got to deal with it. So pods, always a huge thing. Tons of different options: lock lids, flip lids. You have the cheap Titman and Falcon ones, or the Gen X ones.
The standard pod, the Gen X.
Yes, probably my favorite pods, and if I could choose, probably would only have those in my pack. These are specifically made for strapless pod packs, and they are extremely nice. The Bunker Kings ESC pods.
They're very secure, and these ones are actually one of those that feature under the lid a little bit of foam to help pack your paint down without breaking it. These are it's not so difficult to open that I can't, but it's nice and streamlined too. It's a good shape.
I personally have never seen one of those break. I've seen a lot of other pods break, but I've never seen one of the ESC pods break.
If you're going for durability and long lasting, Bunker Kings ESC pods. So, pod packs, things to hold these pods.
Pod packs.
This here is the HK Army MagTech harness. This is one of the newer things that has come out in recent times. Pods are held in place with magnets. These things actually do hold on pretty good. I have to give that a pretty solid tug to get rid of that. And I mean, that's no worse than what I would pull on with Velcro. There are options though. You can get packs that have no straps at all. You can get packs that are still held strapped with Velcro. You have a lot of options for your paintballer. So if they're just looking for something new, that leaves you a pretty open canvas to really go with whatever you want as you look through the Punisher's site. But if they tell you something specific, definitely try to keep an ear out for at least the manufacturer name, and you can probably get a pretty good guess at what they might want.
Probably the biggest thing to me is try to figure out if they like something strapped or something strapless. because a lot of players, like personally, I'm huge on strapless pods or packs. I hate to have the extra task of taking a strap off, whereas Doug does like that.
I prefer the undo, dump it.
That's probably the biggest thing when it comes to packs.
Yep. Yeah, that is, I think, in today's world, that is one of the biggest arguments is strap versus strapless. Otherwise, that's all. It really is the same thing. It's just little things that are down to preference. So if you know your player's favorite colors, probably a pretty safe bet on what you're going to end up getting.
Definitely. So next thing, something that's a little bit not as common, but something that players still want is barrel kits. You have a couple, well, actually a lot of different options. The two that we have here today, we have the Freak XL. This is a pretty standard barrel kit. Anyone in paintball has heard of it. It's huge. It features a ton of different inserts that you can use in your actual gun with a bunch of different sizes. These are great for boring your paint to make it just so that you have a little bit more efficiency and you're a little bit more ball on ball down the field. So the biggest thing with barrel kits, figure out the thread and also figure out, hey, if you want to get them the insert kit, do they have a barrel that can actually take those inserts? For example, the second barrel kit that I have here is the Planet Eclipse FL inserts. This is the barrel that I use, but these will not work with the Freak inserts because the insert is actually built into the back part of the barrel and it just slides and then screws into the barrel. So just figure out what barrel they have, but it is a huge option to go with, and everyone can appreciate a new barrel or a new barrel kit because it
gives you options with how you want to shoot. I mean, if you're at an event, it's really hot outside, paint starts to kind of swell and get larger. So if your player only really has the first, 0.684 barrel size that their gun came with, that might end up being too small. I've had some events, like down at Cup, I think I had a .91 in my gun at one point.
I was shooting an 8.5 the entire time.
I just do, look, you got to overbore.
Ball on ball.
You have to overbore if you don't want to blow up paint in your barrel.
Underbore.
Overbore. He just wants to fight with me, I swear. So next on our list.
Tanks. Any player can use a tank. You got a bunch of different sizes, so that's honestly probably the biggest thing when it comes to buying tanks for someone. Figure out what size they like. If you're wanting to go with a tank and they say something like, hey, I like a 77 tank, that is 77 cubic inches, and you can choose between that or something that is pretty much the exact same size, is the 80 cubic inch. A couple different companies like Infamous went to the 80 rather than the 77. Honestly, there's not really any reasoning behind that I know of, but it is just about the exact same size. And it's
you're kind of splitting hairs between the 77 and 80.
Yeah,
but it's
definitely.
This is something that, as far as like what's on the list, it will be on the higher end of the spectrum in terms of cost. However, that'll last your player 15 years, because it's good for 3 hydros. It gets hydroed every 5 years, so that is an investment in their playing. And I personally, I actually have gotten a tank for Christmas, and I still use it today. That is one of the best things I've ever been given. And again, this video is geared towards those who know the person that they're buying for and are able to kind of ask a couple questions without totally giving it away. So
this isn't going to be like hey, I have a white elephant coming up. It would be funny, and if you want to, go ahead. It'd be a great,
certainly take people
great
off
gag
guard.
gift.
Right. $200 gag gift.
If you do go with something like the Infamous tank, we actually sell the bottles separately. So if they say that they need a reg with it, you would have to get the reg as a separate item as we sell them, so that you can get different colored bottles with different designs, and then you can pick what color reg you want on it, and you can kind of pick and choose between them. That's probably honestly my biggest thing with Infamous bottles, is that you do have a lot of options.
Now, reg being short for regulator, just regulates the pressure coming out of the tank into the gun. Not too much that you need to know, but just for what you would want to search for, tank regulators would be the proper search term. And there are many different manufacturers. We have Infamous, we have Ninja, there's HK. Those are kind of the big three. There are Tippmann tanks as well that are sold in the 48 3000 format, but really any of the options, it just depends on where your player is at in their career and kind of what they've been talking about, what they want. But something that is incredibly important for paintball is pads and protection. So, these here are the Virtue Breakout knee pads. What arm pads did you grab there, Keegan?
I got the HK Army Crash CTX arm pads, as I have used these personally, and I think that they are phenomenal. However, we're not going to go into the actual pads, but we are going to go into what is the biggest thing to figure out when trying to buy a player pads, which is...
I was just talking about doing it with my cousin. It is a little difficult. So if you know about, obviously, we're assuming this is somebody that you live with or that you see a lot.
Yeah,
so
family member, something like that.
I am about 5'9", barely, and around 200 pounds right now. So for me, for my arm pads, I wear a large. And for my knee pads, I believe I also am wearing a large. So if that kind of helps to put things in perspective a little bit on sizing, Keegan is what, about 5'10", 5'11"?
I'm 5'11", and 125 pounds. And I actually, so in the CTX arm pads, I have to use the small/medium. And then the arm pads that I'm using now, the infamous arm pads, I'm using a size medium. So that's the biggest thing when it comes to arm pads, knee pads, any type of pads. Figure out size, especially for arm pads, because arm pads, you want them tight so that they don't slide up and down on you. I've had pairs like that because it's hard to find some that fit me, and it's kind of uncomfortable, can give you rug burn on your elbows.
Yeah.
But this is a great option because even if they already have a pair that's working for them now, they will go out.
You'll need to update them eventually, I think. So I just bought some new arm pads from here. I bought the Exalt T3s.
But then you have someone like me who in the last year has gone through 4 pairs.
Keegan's picky.
No, I'm hard on my gear. They've all torn. They've all torn, broke, worn out. It's not just that I wanted new ones, unfortunately.
So it happens when you play a lot. So also depending on, you could really be saving the paintball player in your life right now because our season just ended. Coming up on the holidays, it's kind of an off season, it's a down season a little bit. People are always going to be looking and picking for new gear. This is a prime time to get them new stuff, especially if it's things that tend to kind of wear a little faster for a lot of players. Like pads are a great option as long as you know a rough idea of what sizing you'd be looking for. But again, different manufacturers make these. We have Exalt, HK, Bunker Kings, Virtue, Dye. Dye is actually known for making really good pads. Planet Eclipse as well.
Pretty much any company makes pads. The only one that I know of is DLX is the only people that don't make pads.
Yep.
DLX and their kind of sister companies.
Yep. So, but I mean, beyond that, guys, these are going to be really good options for the paintball player in your life that are generally applicable to pretty much anybody who's in the sport.
Definitely, definitely.
Please take this video and do what you will with it. Let us know how you felt about it, and we'll try to do another one next year if you guys like it. Leave a comment. Let us know if there's anything that your player asked for that wasn't in this list. We would love to expand it for next year. But if you like this, give us a like, drop a subscription, drop a comment, find us on social media, and we'll catch you in the next one.